and winter. Hello everybody, good evening, and yes, for a lot of people who are seeing me after this long hiatus here, first of all, a couple of clarifications. I did not turn up to work yesterday. I was on an official leave. So clarification there. Adi, if you're listening to this, here it is. And moving on, for everybody joining us for this fresh edition of the ESL India Premiership, I'm your host Vagish Kiran Bhan, aka Godslayer. And joining me today for the first game itself is none other than the vivacious and the ever enthusiastic Clash Royale player we have around us always, Angela.
How are you?
Gonzalez.
Nice to meet you after so long. Beautiful introduction over there. Thank you so much for that.
Always. Yes, so Angela is going to be joining me today for this exclusive stream of the ESL India Premiership 2018 summer season's going on right about now. And also for those who are wondering, why is Vagish wearing shades? Trust me, you don't want to see me without them. You would want to switch off your PC, laptop and throw it in the nearest stream possible. And that's a recipe for sleeping with fishes. Or fish in that instance. GTA, you were wrong there. Now moving on, today we have some interesting games lined up for you guys. We have Clash Royale between Sushil Abhi and Kamil. Now Sushil is from Delhi, whereas Kamil is from Bombay.
Yeah.
It's a typical Delhi-Bombay war.
We had that similar even yesterday between Dora and even in Dora we had Buriza versus Signify, who is a Bombay Delhi kind of thing, and the same discussion went on how the rivalry is so strong between the two cities.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to see how these two players are going to participate. Talking about these two players, Kamil is a new entrance in the Masters League, and we've been following this new format where both the players have to ban cards. So I'm hoping to see what Abhi is going to ban against Kamil, because he's a new player, so he would have to either research and find out what exactly Kamil plays.
I'm going to root for Kamil. If you ask me personally, Angie, I'm going to, without any questions asked, root for Kamil.
Yeah.
A, because he's from Bombay.
Yes.
B, because he's from Bombay. C, because I've seen Sushil Abhi play, and I believe that Kamil has the potential in him to somehow, if not evade Sushil's attacks, counter them. And that's, I think predominantly, according to me, that's a great strategy to prevail in Clash Royale.
And talking about that, I mean, Kamil himself has said that he does like to play a more defensive kind of deck and not an offensive kind. So he is looking to see what Sushil brings on head forth offensively, and then he's going to react to that and then give it back. So Sushil's got to be very careful on how he takes this game, because he's not seen Kamil play before. Like you said, topping it, he's a defensive player. So even if the Alexa count is going to stay 10 till 1 minute of the match, we're going to see these two players having it very hard in the game.
All right, so then let's quickly head off into the player introductions and see exactly what these peeps are made up of in the game of Clash Royale. So let's bring that up and see what's in store for us when it comes to Sushil Abhi, the first participant here. Which card do you think he's going to be banning here today, Angela? Because I'm presuming now the entire ban situation has happened, right?
I think if I looked at the World Cup that happened, the Ice Golem was a favorite over there. So I'm hoping to see one of these players ban out the Ice Golem. But we know that Kamil does like the Bandit card a lot. So Sushil could even play it safer and just ban out a card that Kamil really likes.
All right. So let's knowing the fact that anything's going to be possible here, let's know about the players themselves first, one by one. Let's see who is the first one here. All right, that's Sushil Abhi. We here at the ESL India offices decided that, you know what, Virat Kohli has such cool videos for him when it comes to the entire Indian cricket team and all his colleagues and comrades. Any sport has cool team videos.
Definitely.
We thought, why not make it cooler this year round? So we have Sushil Abhi there from New Delhi. And now let's move on to our second player in question, Kamil. Alrighty then. So now that we can put faces to these names, Sushil, Abhi, and Kamil, we've already discussed the kind of bands we're going to be expecting, Angie.
Yes.
Now, moving from the bands, let's talk about the game in general. In general.
Okay. So in general,
Who's your pick?
Who's my pick? I would say Sushil, because
Just because I chose Kamil.
no, I mean because I've seen this guy play, and he's pretty fantastic. He's very versatile with his deck, and he does love the Hog Rider, which is one of also my favorite cards. So and the Hog Rider's got a very good upgrade in the past few patches on Clash Royale. So I'm hoping to see how he's going to be using that card. Is he going to play it in his deck? At the same time, because of the ban phase, I know Kamil has done a little bit of homework on Sushil, and if he knows that Sushil is going to pick up the Hog Rider, he could choose to ban out that card. Now, if he chooses to ban off that card, Sushil will be left a little uncertain on how he plans to take that deck forward, because even yesterday's matches we saw Mukul had a little bit of trouble because his favorite card, the Three Musketeers, got an outward ban right there, and he lost the match because of that. He went 3-0 to Arpan. So I'm going to root for a player who I've already researched, understood, you know, like seen him play on LAN.
Indeed, indeed.
But Kamil just has passed out 12th. He's much refreshed after his long study.
Boards! We all know how that felt. So let's quickly move on to the bans and see. I'm pretty sure Kamil, if given the opportunity, would have banned boards. But here we are. We've got some really, really interesting bans there. Angie.
We see that he's banned on Three Musketeers. Kamil has opted to go for the ban on Three Musketeers, while the Royal Giant gets a ban there by Sushil. Now, these two cards are pretty strong in the game. I wouldn't say they would be their only options. Sushil's main card, the Hog, which is his favorite part of his favorite
Has
deck,
not been banned.
Has not been banned. So he does have a good opening there. But also to make sure both these players did not know it is a blind ban. So they could have even banned out the same card. But gladly, they both have chosen differently. They look pretty young to me. And young power coming in the house. I'm very excited to see how these two games
Indeed,
work out.
indeed. So let's quickly head off into the game and see what's it going to be like. What's the game going to be like? We'll all get in the thick of things here as and when the first round begins. So let's see what's in store for us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm back here with more Clash Royale casting, and I would like to thank Vagish and Zara for starting the show off there. And it's nice to have Vagish back in the studio now. It's a great guy, love the guy. You know, he's a very magnetic guy, I would like to call it. So, anyways, enough of that. Let's look at the game today. We have Abhi, whose name is Sushil, versus Kamil. Like, you already see them dumping some of their low elixir cards to kind of get the right cards that they want. A few changes here in the deck. We see new units here, and I'm wondering how Abhi is planning to defend this big push and does that with Pekka. Pekka comes to answer the door. A lot of flying units above him trying to bring him down. Abhi will really drop something very quickly to defend this, which he does. Not two, and these minion horde. So the minions are gonna absolutely demolish it. You can see 3 minions getting their shots on the tower at full health, bring it down quite low to 1694. So that's that. Bandit is on the way. I want to talk more about these players. They have a long history with us. They got invited directly into the Master League this year, so they really didn't have to go through a lot of struggle to get here because they've kind of proven their point so far. So they got direct invite into the Master League, and hence they are here in front of us. Inferno Dragon does get distracted by the flying battle there. However, they kind of cut each other off pretty well there. So Not something that you want Inferno Dragon to target, which he targeted directly to the Goblin Hut. They're absolutely getting rid of that. That was quite a elixir loss for Abhi there. So that's quite a disadvantage that he has to go in with. Let's see if he's able to defend this pretty well. And these guys will slowly stun away the Inferno Dragon, which will have some trouble because that, but able to take care of that fairly quickly. Good defense, by the way, by Abhi. As you can clearly see, he's been defending pretty hardcore, but eventually gives in to all the pressure. I guess the elixir loss really hit him there, and the amount of units that Kamil is throwing right at the bridge, and a lot of bridge spam. That you can see Kamil's overall deck. It's a pretty low cost elixir deck, and Abhi, you can see, he's already kind of given up the first match because he's kind of said good game already. However, you can see the overall look at the elixir. I think the highest elixir card that he has in his deck is 4, which is the fireball. Even the what's it called? Man, I even forgot the name of that unit, which is what I'm good at. However, this is not something that Abhi was expecting. Such a low elixir deck coming his way and not able to hold up against the pressure that's coming towards him. So as you can see, Kamil already has 1 point in his favor. Keep in mind, we have changed the format to a best of 5 this year. So more games of Clash Royale every single day, more exciting matches, and also a new feature that we mentioned earlier also is actually the ban. So coming in to the match, before the match starts, both the players will ban 1 card for their opponent. So, for example, in this case, one player banned 3 Musketeers, the other banned the Royal Giant. Hence, the ban which was placed on the other player cannot pick that. So, in this case, Abhi can most likely pick 3 Musketeers, and Kamil can pick the Royal Giant if they want to, but however, vice versa, they cannot. Game 2 is now on the horizon, and you can see how it seems like Abhi has kind of switched, lowered his elixir over there also. But you see, Ram is the Ram and the Inferno Giant, Inferno Dragon here is the main thing that I'm looking at. Whereas Kamil has kind of switched over to the balloon deck right now. Is this what Abhi is expecting? I don't know. We'll see. A nice stun there to slow down the Ram, but we'll get few hits off on the tower. This is okay, but keep in mind, look at the units that Kamil has on his side, which is not going to be counter-attacking good. And a nice distraction with the miner, and the balloon will be able to get 1 bomb down, which it does a lot of damage and does death damage on top of that. 1200 health left on that tower, and Inferno Dragon might be able to do some damage. No, distracted. Kamil showing us how to defend a great push and then counter-attacking with that. You saw how he was able to collect units on his side and able to push across to Abhi's side, who had now this elixir push of around 12 coming at his doorsteps, and he had to figure out how to stop it. He did stop it eventually, but cost him the health of his tower. Great push on the right, low elixir cards being pushed in. Nice distraction with the ice column now taking the Dark Prince completely in the other direction. Won't be able to get much done there. Balloon placed very aggressively, will not be able to make it. Actually, my bad. He does make it and will take this tower down to 146 health. Abhi under a lot of pressure already. There's less than a minute left on the clock. He needs to figure out how he's getting back into the game because he's already behind. Nice flash damage by that fiery meatball thrown across the map, able to take down the building and able to take damage on his opponent's tower. A big push on the left and a big push on the right. Lot of elixir being invested. How is he planning to defend here? Does throw the fireball, able to kind of defend that push, but the death rattles of the balloon leaves an extra damage grenade there to do extra damage before when it dies. I think Abhi is gonna have a hard time closing this game because look at the health of his tower. It's pretty low. If another balloon makes it across, this is gonna be spelling a lot of trouble for him. So let's see how he's able to hopefully hold this game somehow. And finally, the balloon comes out. The thing is, balloon will just need to it doesn't even need to make it there. Even if it dies before it makes it there, it's fine because the grenade damage will, the bomb damage will take it down, which it eventually does. And bringing the score now 2-0 in favor of Kamil. My God. I hope this is not a 3-0 victory like yesterday, because yesterday we got to see two great players going at it. These guys were the winners of the Master League in what's it called? Arpan was there, and he absolutely destroyed his opponent. 3-0 victory. I'm hoping that we don't get to see the same today, because these both players are great, by the way. And just some bad luck from yesterday's matches, which ended up giving him a 3-0 loss. But here we are. This is game 3 of best of 5. And I just saw a mouse flying across the screen. Wow. Hopefully no one saw that. Again, few changes in the decks here. And we already can see there's a princess in Abhi's pocket right there, holding on to that, trying to figure out what he wants to do. I'm thinking Abhi's gone maybe for the magic missile build, where he uses a lot of cheap units to defend and uses the missile to do damage to his enemy towers. Princess walking right into the poison. She'll not be able to get much done. Here comes the Goblin Barrel, taken care by Goblin Gang. Still looking for that big victory thing coming in from Abhi. What's the condition here? What am I missing something here? Both these players are actually going for a quick cycle rotation to a Goblin Barrel poison push. I don't know, this is a little too advanced for me right now. Another Goblin Barrel now coming from Kamil's side, quickly taken care of by a log. The Goblins were able to get a few hits in there. Goblin Barrel completely going there, and there's no one to defend. No, the log comes out. The log bait. Look at that, there's a log bait into a quick bandit and a Goblin Gang push by Kamil. And maybe this is where it's all getting a little crazy for me to understand what's and how these guys are planning to close the game. Slowly chip away at their opponent's tower with the Goblin Barrels, the logs, the poisons. Because every time the princess goes down, the poison will go down, and which it exactly does. Right on that. To tit to tat, we see a fireball being thrown at Kamil, bringing him down. Goblin Barrel immediately answered, and look at that Valkyrie doing so much damage. Few hits coming in by those Goblin, bringing the tower. I think this game is going to be slow, chipping away at your opponent's tower. And look at that, Goblin Barrel comes in, does not do enough damage, is taken down. Will we see a poison? Yes, he does. Goblin Barrel on the right. This is a lot of cheap units going left, right, and center. Ouch! I don't know if you guys noticed that. I was not hurt. I was actually just seeing the princess stop in her tracks to take aim at the opposite side and completely miss the fireball. And now this princess on the field, which is alive, but will be eventually taken down. That fireball kind of missed the princess there, and princess absolutely destroyed the Goblin Gang also. A lot of back and forth action, a lot of cheap units left, right. The point of this game is going to be who can chip away at their opponent quickly. And so far, it just seems like both the players are in the same spot. They have 2 minutes and 44 seconds to take care of the situation, but so far it seems some major mistake will need to be made, or something like this where, ouch, there you go. As I said, a major mistake you need to do. Kamil actually didn't have a log in rotation at that point, and he had to put down few other units to defend that push, and which ended up him taking a lot of damage on the tower on the right, which is now down to 700 health. This could spell doom for Kamil. So let's see if we'll get to see a game 4. The Goblin will get 1 stab. No, it doesn't actually. You see a little chess game going on here where he's trying to aim the barrel left, right, and center, and hoping that his opponent does not misses the log there. But pretty crazy, by the way, so far. And lot of baits going on. There's two princesses on the field. They're doing so much damage. This could spell doom. A lot of doom actually for Kamil. Kamil could end up losing this game, and I think this might be it. This is the final push. Uh, Able to close the game finally. Abhi has one score on the board, and I feel a little bit successful here, being able to see a game kind of going into game 4, which didn't happen so far. It's finally happening. This is the second day of the ESL India Premiership, and we're going to game 4, guys. Yes, pretty crazy. Woo! That is right there where you saw two opponents using super low elixir decks, bridge spamming left and right, and one player coming out on top simply by a very, very small mistake of log being out of rotation. They're trying to bait out the log, trying to bait out the fireball, and then trying to do a counter push at the same time. Abhi had a Valkyrie, which helped him a lot. However, Kamil didn't have much to say. He had the poison, which is kind of slowly chipping away at the tower. Maybe a fireball would have secured him the win. I don't know. These guys are much better than me. Game 4 is live. Abhi has gone to a balloon deck with an Inferno Dragon. There's a lot of units on the field, and we can see Kamil's deck also, and he has a graveyard with poison and even tornado. So Nado, poison, graveyard. If he gets Abhi caught in the wrong position, he can do a lot of damage with those 3 cards. Let's see how this game plays out. And this is, by the way, a great show of if you guys are pro high-level players, you'll already know this. But for the new guys here, notice where that golem was dropped, the ice golem. He was dropped on the left side of the map, was able to push or pull the Dark Prince on his direction and taking him all the way to the other side. You basically saw a 2 elixir card pushing away a 4 elixir card and making it and rendering it completely useless. Balloon, which tried to make it fairly close to the tower there, was distracted. Will do the death damage on to that building. Not a lot, but does do a lot of damage. Not a lot, but does do some damage. Not a lot of damage. A lot of back and forth right now. I think Abhi will have some trouble getting his balloon across to the other side, because not only does he have a tornado, he also actually has a building to place to distract. And you can see finally that combo coming in. He's used a Nado and the graveyard to bring that tower down quite low. 30 seconds left on the clock, and this is huge push coming across towards Kamil, and he actually decides to put the balloon in the other direction. What's he gonna do? Does he have the Nado? Yes, he does. He's gonna put it down. Yes, he does. Able to defend that push. Very well done. And very well done, by the way. He's able to hold that. Kamil did make the right decision there. Abhi also made a great decision to push the loon on the other side, because there was plenty of units already on the right hand side. A big push of the poison and graveyard not able to do much there. The poison will take away. And this is the problem here, right? When you're doing a push like this, a graveyard or a poison or graveyard build there, you see a lot of units of Abhi actually just collecting on his side of the map, which favors him and helps him out to do a big push as a counter attack. There we go. The miner is already out. A lot of people to defend, and miner's actually having a hard time going left and right to figure out which way he wants to attack, but the poison really bringing down the tower. This could be the final game for Kamil actually, because when he wins this game, it's going to be 3-0, a lot of back and forth action. And I think a few more poison takes will spell doom here, because here comes the graveyard. Miner's also out to defend. A zap and a poison. I think this is GG right here. And this is going to be the end pretty much. I think he's just waiting for the couple of other cards to come back into rotation. Boom. balloon taken care of. And finally, the graveyard comes out. And guess what? No one's able to defend at home. And the skeletons are slowly chipping away, taking one stab at a time, and they've completely surrounded the tower. And this is GG. And Kamil has quickly won this match 3-1. Congratulations, Kamil, for closing this game. And sadly, that's all from our side today. But we have a lot of exciting Counter Strike and Dota 2 matches coming up. And I'm sure Vagish and Zara have a lot to talk about this game. So I'm going to quickly step out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care and good night from Clash Royale. Bye-bye.
As I said, I have said this a long time ago and I will keep saying it. Bombay is a place. Bombay is
a place?
No, sorry. Did I say Bombay is a place? Sorry. Bombay is a being. It always prevails.
Oh, yeah?
For example, Kamil prevailed so beautifully. A scoreline of 3-1 at the end of the day against a Delhi boy called Sushil Abhi says a lot about how this entire eternal fight between
Yeah.
Delhi and Bombay is going to happen.
Well, now that you've said that.
I will always say it. I'll
Now
always
that
say
you
it.
said that, I would just say that I think both the players, to be very frank, had very different drafts. And in the first game, we had Abhi, who was just trying out this completely new deck, which I've not really seen a lot of people play. And he's gone with Zaps, which is not really used that much. The Flying Machine card, the Miner, he preferred these cards, and it did not work in his favor that much. Even the Ice Coast is a new card come into 2017, 2018 of Clash Royale. And I was very excited to see him use those cards, but I think Kamil played to his strengths. In the game one, he did have his Bandit, again one of his favorite cards, and he had his whole pack going. So with him playing his favorite deck, I think Abhi did not really know the potential Kamil brought to the table. So I think that's why he took a very hard beat in the first round. In the second game also, I think he followed a very similar strategy, but they also had very similar cards. Now they both had the Mega Minion, they both had the Ice Golem, they both opted to go for a more versatile build for themselves, but at the same time, I felt Abhi again was not playing with his strength. Because in the past games that I've seen him play, he's not really used these kind of cards. But in the third game, we did see he used the Battle Ram. He went back to his original deck. He had the Princess involved. He took that game pretty well for himself. Got a little confidence back. And in the fourth game, he again had a little bit of struggle against Kamil. But saying all that, this is only day 2 of the ESL India Premiership, and it's also Sushil's first game in the tournament. So I would cut him some slack and say, you learn from your mistakes, and Kamil playing the defensive build was ready to whatever Sushil brought to him.
Yeah, indeed. If you take a step back and see the entire game once again, this best of 5 here, you realize, in fact, even if you happen to have the chance and you go ahead and see the previous year's edition of the ESL India Premiership,
Yeah.
and ever since Clash Royale as a game has been developed, it's more than a card game, more than a real-time card-based game or tower defense game.
Yeah.
It's predominantly a game of momentum.
Correct.
If you know exactly that your momentum is going to devastate and wreak havoc over the entire space, you're in. If you see Kamil's gameplay, it's true to this entire thought process, except the round he lost against Sushil.
Yeah.
That's when Sushil realized, if you articulately see out the positioning of his characters there,
Yeah.
Sushil for once decided, let's stop the attrition at me going on. Let's stop. Let's give me a breather here.
Yeah.
That's when Kamil had to fall back and he felt the pressure coming towards him. Whereas all the other rounds which Kamil won, it was predominantly from start to finish. It was
He had a game plan throughout.
no.
He just knew.
Kamil was just being a hammer,
Yeah.
hitting the last nail on the coffin repeatedly, and he sealed the deal with this one.
That's true. I think that's what happens even in a game like Clash. I mean, I had this discussion even with Adi the other day that Clash seems like a very simple game. But it's like you need a lot more understanding to it because it's so simple. You tend to get a little overconfidence at times. You tend to feel that, okay, I know more, I'll be able to do this and that. But let's say you place the card a second late. Say you position your card a little bit wrong, you could lose the whole roll just over that. And I think Kamil came in very confident in today's matchup, and I hope to see his confidence keep growing because he's got a lot of games ahead of him. Indeed. And it's a great start for him.
Indeed, indeed. So let's quickly head off into this small commercial break. When we come back on the other side, we'll come back with this intensive game called Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And when we come back, we'll give you more deets about what's going to happen in today's stream. But for now, we'll head into this short break. When we come back with more games.